You walk into a dealership, you've done your research, you know your credit score is 656. Nothing embarrassing, nothing great. The finance guy comes back with your rate, 11.9%. Your coworker bought almost the exact same car last month. Same income, same down payment. His credit score? 672. 16 points higher than yours. His rate was 7.4%. 16 points, that's it. And that gap alone was worth thousands of dollars in extra interest, just for standing on the wrong side of a line you didn't even know existed. Most people think their credit score works like a smooth ramp. A little higher is a little better, a little lower is a little worse. It doesn't work that way. Lenders don't price your loan off a smooth line. They price it off invisible thresholds. And today, I'm going to show you exactly where they are. My name is Coco, and this channel is about the money mechanics nobody explains clearly. Today, we're breaking down the real thresholds that determine your interest rate. Not the vague good credit, bad credit version, but the actual numbers lenders use behind the scenes. If you've ever gotten a loan offer that felt randomly worse than it should have been, hit subscribe because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why that happened and exactly what to check before it happens again. Here's what most people get wrong. They think of their credit score as one continuous number, where 750 is just a bit better than 700, which is a bit better than 650. So they either obsess over squeezing out every extra point, or they ignore the number completely because it feels too abstract to matter. But lenders don't actually think in single points. They think in tiers. Your score gets sorted into a bucket, and your interest rate is priced off which bucket you land in, not your literal 3-digit number. The 5 commonly used FICO tiers are Poor from 300 to 579, Fair from 580 to 669, Good from 670 to 739, Very Good from 740 to 799, and Exceptional from 800 to 850. But here's the part that actually matters for your wallet. The real pricing thresholds lenders use sit even more specifically at 580, 620, 670, 720, and 740. Cross one of those lines even by a single point and you can shift into a meaningfully different rate, while moving 30 or 40 points within the same tier barely changes anything at all. That's why two people with scores 20 points apart can get wildly different offers, while two people with scores 50 points apart, but on the same side of a threshold, get nearly identical ones. Let's put real numbers on this because the gap is bigger than most people expect. On new car loans, buyers with excellent credit are currently averaging around 4.55% interest. Buyers with poor credit are averaging over 16%. Same car, same lender, more than triple the interest rate, purely based on which tier they're sitting in. On mortgages, the difference is even more dramatic in dollar terms. On a $300,000 30-year fixed mortgage, moving from a 620 score up to 760 or higher can lower your payment by around $156 a month and save you over $56,000 in total interest across the life of the loan. On larger loan amounts, that gap stretches even further, sometimes past $100,000 over 30 years, and this compounds over a lifetime. Analysts estimate that the average person sitting in the fair tier pays roughly $183,000 more in total interest over their life, across mortgages, auto loans, credit cards, and personal loans combined, compared to someone who stayed in the top tier the whole time. Here's the twist most people don't expect though. The returns shrink dramatically once you're already in good shape. The difference between a 740 score and an 800 score is often less than 1/10 of a percentage point on a mortgage rate, basically nothing. Which means a huge number of people are stressing over chasing 800 when the real money was left on the table crossing 670 or 720 or 740 in the first place. So the goal isn't get the highest score possible. The goal is knowing exactly which threshold you're closest to and closing that specific gap, because that's where the actual savings live. Step 1, check your actual score, not an estimate. Credit card apps often show you a close approximation, but the score a lender actually pulls can differ. Before any major purchase, a car, a mortgage, a big loan, pull your real score from a source that reflects what lenders see, so you know precisely which side of a threshold you're standing on. Step 2. Figure out your distance to the nearest threshold above you. If you're at 656, the next line isn't some far-off goal, it's 670, just 14 points away. If you're at 705, your next line is 720. This reframes the whole project from improve my credit, which feels vague and slow, into close a 14-point gap, which feels concrete and doable. Step 3. Attack your credit utilization first, because it's the fastest lever you have. Utilization, how much of your available credit you're actually using, can shift your score in as little as 30 days once you pay it down. Getting your reported utilization under 30% helps. Getting it under 10% helps more. If you're 14 points from a threshold and carrying high balances, this is very often where those points are hiding. Step 4. Pull your credit report and actually read it. Roughly 1 in 4 credit reports contains an error, an account that isn't yours, a payment marked late that wasn't, a balance that's outdated. Disputing and correcting even one mistake can move your score meaningfully, and it costs nothing but time. Step 5. In the weeks before a big application, don't open new credit cards or take on new loans. Each hard inquiry can knock your score down by 5 to 10 points, which might be exactly the number of points separating you from a better tier. Save the new credit card sign-up bonus for after your mortgage closes, not before. I want to tell you about someone I'll call Morgan. Morgan was getting ready to buy a first car and figured a 668 credit score was close enough to good. A lender quoted a rate that felt high, but Morgan didn't know it was high. There was no reference point. A friend suggested checking the actual threshold math. Turned out Morgan was 2 points under the 670 line, the exact boundary between the fair and good tiers. 2 points. Morgan pulled a credit report and found a small utilization problem. One card was sitting at 68% of its limit, dragging the score down more than it looked like it should. Morgan paid that single card down to under 10% utilization and waited 3 weeks. The next pull showed 674, 6 points higher, but more importantly, on the other side of the line. When Morgan reapplied, the rate offer dropped by almost 2 full percentage points on a car loan that would run for 5 years. Morgan told me afterward, "I didn't fix my whole financial life. I paid down one card and waited 3 weeks. That's it. That's the whole point of understanding the threshold. You're not chasing perfection, you're closing one specific, findable gap." So here's the full path. Understand that lenders price in tiers, not smooth points. And the real thresholds sit at 580, 620, 670, 720, and 740. Check your real score before any major purchase. Find your distance to the nearest threshold above you. Attack utilization first since it moves fastest. Check your report for errors since about a quarter of them contain one. And avoid new credit applications right before you need your best rate. Most people either obsess over a number that barely matters anymore or ignore a number that's quietly costing them thousands. Neither one is really your fault. Nobody hands you the actual threshold map when you turn 18, but once you know where the lines actually are, credit stops being a mysterious grade and starts being a specific, closable gap. You don't need a perfect score. You need to know which line is closest and what it would take to get on the right side of it. So here's your move today. Pull your real credit score, find the nearest threshold above it, and check your utilization on your highest balance card. That one number is usually where the easiest points are hiding. If this changed how you think about your credit score, do me a favor, hit subscribe right now and turn on notifications so you catch the next one. I'm building this channel for people who are done paying more than they have to, just because nobody explained where the lines actually are. Come be part of that with me.